Thanks for visiting Patient Weather today. I'm meteorologist Al Peterlin. I'd like to talk about the weather stress forecast for March 9th, 2026. We do keep additional graphics available at tpatw.com, and we do maintain a Patient Weather storefront on Amazon. Amazon purchases made through our Patient Weather storefront support the activities of Patient Weather. Looking at the surface map for Monday, the 9th, does look like a rather interesting pattern. We have a meandering cold front and a series of bubble lows all the way from Northern California through Idaho, into South Dakota, back over to Wisconsin, and then up into southeastern Canada. You'll note there is a lot of unsettled weather north of the front. Snow literally from Washington, Oregon, across Idaho, all the way to North Dakota, and even into northern Minnesota. But notice we have a lot of activity in the south and east where there is a lot warmer temperatures. There is that bubble low off Baja, and it'll be helping to drive some moisture into Arizona and New Mexico. And in the south and southeast, a lot of unsettled weather south of this warm front, all the way from Arkansas, Louisiana, clear across to Georgia. Looking at our vitality index, which is a measure of all of those weather elements that will be of concern for human health, and you'll note we do have that little bit of activity going on here in Southern California and in Arizona. Lots of activity up here in the north along the border from Washington State clear across to northern Minnesota and the Michigan Upper Peninsula. Note we also have a bubble of activity here across the middle Mississippi Valley into the Ohio Valley, where that front will do a lot of unsettling. Looking at pressure change, not a lot of pressure change on the map for Monday, although there is rising pressure, again behind that frontal system stretching from Washington State across all the way to the Michigan Upper Peninsula, but taking in the northern plains. Temperature change is very interesting. Note that we have a cool air outbreak, but especially cold across Montana and into the Dakotas. A little bit of cool air here in Southern California into southern Arizona, but that's really because of that unsettled weather with that storm center off the coast of Baja. We're looking at warming temperature, rising temperatures in a swath with riding up southerly winds all the way from Texas across Oklahoma up into Illinois, Indiana, and actually trying to make its way into the upper portions of New England. Dew point temperatures, very much the same. We've got falling dew point temperatures here in the north, but rising dew point temperatures across much of the southern portions of the country, all the way from Southern California, clear across the middle Mississippi Valley, and even into the northernmost regions of New England. But that real swath of rising moisture in the vapors showing here in Southern California, and especially from Texas clearing up into southern Illinois. Looking at instability, and that's something that we'll be watching as the summer starts to unfold, but you can see that bubble of instability here across Baja, and then another significant influx in instability along the Texas coast, and especially interesting in Louisiana and Mississippi, and trying to work its way into the middle Mississippi Valley. Looking at the change in oxygen availability, a lot of activity going on with the risk of migraine across Southern California and southern Arizona. Another significant area of migraine risk, Washington, Oregon, Idaho, Montana, all the way through the Dakotas, northern Minnesota, and the upper peninsula of Michigan. We do have a touch of migraine risk here in northern Virginia, Maryland, Delaware, and southern New Jersey. But the risk of asthma and arthritis, significant, first across Utah, but most significant across southern Texas, on up through Oklahoma, Arkansas, Missouri, southern Illinois, into Indiana. And then we pick up another risk of asthma and arthritis here in New England, but mainly right along the Canadian border. Thanks for visiting the patient and the weather. Your comments are appreciated, and if you hurt, tell us where you're located.